wildlife. Now we'll see the cultural heritage of India. This is what cultural heritage is said to be very rich of India. And the meaning of cultural heritage is man-made heritage. It is created by human. That means the skill, the wisdom, the tact, the art together gives you the cultural heritage. That is man-made. We'll start from the beginning. The olden days, if you start with Aryans, Kshatraps, Kushans, Huns, Persians, Turks, Arabs, Mughals, Britishers, French, these all they have come to India. And they became rich with exchanging the culture, their culture with our Indians. Our Indians are prehistoric. Time if you see, they have contributed a lot to our world. That means India has contributed a lot to the world. Our art and architecture is 5,000 years old. And you all know, children, Indus Valley civilization is the oldest one, 5,000 years ago. The figures of gods and goddesses, humans, animals, and several toys and many other things have been found, which shows us, which tells us that how our culture was and how it has given importance to this world and why the people from the world is getting attracted towards India. Our cultural heritage accommodates palaces, buildings, sculptures, stupas, viharas, chaityas, temples, mosques, tombs, many things. All these are historical places and they are counted as to be heritage. Even our script, discovery of zero, mathematics, calendar, astronomy, iron, literature, religion, and political science, geology, botany, Vastu Shastra, religion, republic, judiciary, everything is started, or we can say it's a discovery of India. And that's the reason the foreigners, they got attracted towards our country and they learned many things from us. They brought their culture. It is a blend of culture now, and that is why we say we are rich heritage of India. Now we'll shift to the culture of Gujarat. We have many archaeological importance, especially if you know Luthar, which is in Nolkha Taluka, Kutch district. Rosari or Srinathgarh, Rajkot district. There is a place of pilgrimage, victory of Tower of Vadnagar, stone inscriptions of King Ashoka at Junagadh, Sun Temple of Modhera. This is all we are going to study in details in our next chapters. Jhulda Minara, Shastralinga Lake of Patan, Raj Mahal of Baroda, tomb of Muhammad Khan, Parsi Agyari of Navsari. If you go through this, the 12th Jyotirling, one of this is in Somnath. Well-known religious and social and tourism oriented places in Gujarat are Vijayanagar, Sabarkantha district, Kite Festival, Kangaria Carnival, Tanariri Festival. So there are so many things which are attracting the foreigners as well as we Indians. And this is what we say, that we are rich, having a rich cultural heritage. There are some places, tourist places of Jains and Buddhas. And you will see these places at Vadnagar, Taranga, Khambhalia, Samlaji, Koteshwar, Talaja, Dang and Jagadia. And there on page 4, you have to go through this, children. Fairs of Gujarat. Modhera fair, which is in the 3rd week of January. Shamlaji fair, Kartik, Sood 11 to Amas. And the list is given of 15 fairs which you have to go through it and you have to just note it down in your notebook. Now we'll shift to the next point, that is India, land and people. How the foreign tribes, they came to India. because they came to know about the prosperity of India, which mesmerized them and brought them to India. First, it is normally said that Dravidians are considered to be the ancient people of India. And other than Dravidians, there are more 6 tribes. We have to explore them one by one. The first one is Negroids. Dravidians are the first one. Then comes Negroids, which they are also known as Hapsi people. They are ancient inhabitants of India. They came from Africa via Balochistan. They were black in color, height only 4 to 5 and having a curly hair. This is there. Then asteroids, Nishat people. The next one is asteroid Nishat. They were also called as Nishat. They came from Southeast Asia. The physical features, black skin with broad head, fat nose, short in height, and these Aryans, they came to India and they were called as Nishat. The origins of this tribe is Kol and Munda, Kashi tribes of Assam. And these tribes of Nicobar and Myanmar have similarities to asteroids. They have also contributed in the development of India. They made clay utensils, cotton clothes, and many other skills they were having. And they were also religious. Next comes what I told you in the beginning, the Dravidians. They originally belongs to India, and their descendants are from the Stone Age of civilization. They created Mohenjo-daro culture, and Dravidians gave the concept of God and goddesses, Shiv, Parvati, Aarti, Dhoop. This is all started by Dravidians. Besides this, they also were worshipping the animals. Originally, deities of Dravidians have been accepted by Aryans afterwards, and then they re-established it, the god of culture. Under the tremendous influence of North, Aryan culture was deeply internationalized by the Dravidians. And Dravidians were having a matrilineal system of family. They progressed a lot. They built the boat, raft, reaping, spinning, dyeing, everything. This is being done by them. But slowly and gradually, Aryans were a little dominant. So they shifted towards south. And if you see the south family, they speak the language. They speak the language of Kannada, Malayalam, Tamil. These are the and Telugu. And now the people, those who are living there, are the Dravidian. The family, they belong to the family of Dravidians. This is what is the story of Dravidians. Then other tribes are also there, like Mongolites, Alpine, Dinaric, Armenoids. They were also in India. Mongolites. Now they came from North China via Tibet and settled down in North Assam, Sikkim, Bhutan, West Bengal. And gradually they also Indianized themselves. That means they have also started following the culture of India. Mongolites, they have a physical characteristics. What it is? They have yellow complexion, flat face, chubby cheeks, almond shaped eyes, and they are also, Mongolites are also known as Kirat. The other name for Mongolite is Kirat. Next is Alpine, Dinaric and Armenoids. They all migrated from Central Asia. And these tribes are having similarities. That means their origin, their genes are mostly found in Gujarat, Saurashtra, Maharashtra, Bengal and Orissa. Formerly it was known as Orissa. Next is the Aryans, which I already told you in the beginning. Basically Aryans and Dravidians and the other more which we have already explored and I explained you also. Now these Aryans are the creator of the Aryan civilization in India. Basically they are Hindus. Now those who are Hindus are belonging to Aryan civilization. And that time where these Aryans were settled, the populous area where these Aryans were settled were the place known as Aryavarta, Bharatvarsh. Because the rivers which were flowing that time were called as Sapta Sindhu, the 7 holy rivers. Sapta Sindhu. The area where this Aryavarta was extended, Mithila, that is Bihar in the east, until Vindhyachal during the Vedic period. Bharatkhand, Bharatvarsha, Bharatbhumi. And why? Because they all are belonging to the Bharat tribe. Aryans are the nature lovers. They love, they worship trees, rivers, mountains, because all these are natural things. Wind, sun, and children, just imagine, can you survive without this? You all know that, not at all. So they were worshipping all these natures. They have composed some hymns also. There is a fine amalgamation of these tribes. They have a specific style of living, and they were harmonious also. They were living together with harmony. Very glorious, very prosperous. The foreigners and the Indian tribes amalgamated themselves a long way, and they had their own identity. Their religious beliefs, they have played a very good role in Indianizing these foreigners. Since ancient time, a composite culture has been created in India. Now the last point, which is preservation and conservation. Whatever we have studied till now, this has to be preserved. It's our first duty to preserve this. As we are Indian, we are the citizens of India, it's our first duty to take care of our culture. As we always keep on saying, the cultural heritage, rich heritage, people from the world, they get attracted. Why? Because we have this long history. So who is responsible? We are responsible to preserve it, to conserve it. This is our first duty. So what we have to do is to protect our prosperity, to preserve it, maintain the forest, wild animals, birds, everything. Not to be violent, avoid violence, that means you have to follow non-violence. And the nature, the beautiful landscapes, which is giving you the purity, sanity, beauty, that has to be saved. That is our moral duty. Nature has generously donated abundant prosperity to India. And this is what we have to take care of: our nature, our country, our culture, our heritage. In this way, the Indian heritage is a result of development of people of India in the social, economical, political and cultural fields over a period of thousands of years, and still to go, children. So, you just prepare yourself that after going through this lesson, you have to be a good Indian. To be very, because still more chapters which are only related to the culture and heritage of India. So, have a good day.